Hey everybody, Rex Bear League Project. How the heck are you? I'm out here in a graveyard right now in the middle of nowhere hill country, Texas. And I think this is kind of symbolic after what happened yesterday in Las Vegas. The question is, who's to blame? How many people were actually there shooting others? And if 58 people were killed and 518 injured, the amount of people in this graveyard right here, I don't think there's more than 50 or 60 people in this graveyard. Maybe 50, right around there. So that means that a graveyard of this magnitude is now going to be filled with people that shouldn't have died, that should still be here, still spending time with their family and loved ones. But no, because of some ridiculous event, some political BS scandal that we all know was most likely designed for some type of propaganda to benefit some type of shadow faction, some sickos up there at the top levels that justify this for some reason. Now, 58 people that could have changed the world are no longer with us. They're not with us anymore. Who were they, you know? I mean, imagine if you were one of the family members. Imagine if you were somebody that actually lost a loved one or a friend or a brother or a sister or a daughter or a son or a mom or a dad or an aunt or an uncle. It shouldn't happen, you guys. Why are we still dealing with this insanity? I don't understand it. Shouldn't we be changing the world? Shouldn't we be helping people? Shouldn't we be coming up with inventions and opportunities to, like, I don't know, better people, to make people the best that they can be? I just don't understand it. I mean, here you go, folks. Here's another graveyard now. Just this is empty right here. All this space, this is all empty. Well, guess what? Now that's all going to be filled with dead bodies. Not this one in particular. You guys get my point. I'm on the way. I'm heading out to northern Texas, and I saw this graveyard, and I thought to myself, you know what? What can we do as a collective whole to make a difference? And I see, look at this. You see that? Can you guys see this, the rainbow? There's a rainbow right now. How symbolic is that? How symbolic is that? Radiation levels are at 0.10 microsieverts per hour. So pretty low out here in San Antonio. And you know, after looking through the comments yesterday, the only people, like the people that would attack, they'd say, oh man, you're a conspiracy theorist, put your tinfoil hat on, this is terrible, you guys are stupid. There was no substance. They were just attacks. Like they had nothing to offer except for, because you're questioning what happened, you're a bad person. Well, why don't you get pissed off at the people that did it, buddy? Why don't you get pissed off at the people that actually were out there shooting others, causing this insanity? Why don't you get pissed off at those that are lying about it? Why don't you get pissed off at the crisis actors that are playing their part of these ridiculous... You know, I think it's a combination, because you look at these pictures, and these pictures, you can see that people are talking on their cell phones, they got their hands in their pockets while the cops are, you know, ducking and covering. It doesn't make sense. So it's like, it seems like the pictures they're showing us are BS. It still doesn't mean it was a real event, but why don't you show us the real pictures? Why is it that people are saying Homeland Security was out there before the event preparing for a mass casualty drill? Why is it that every time almost there's a event of mass shootings, it seems like some type of defense drill is in the same area around the same time that it happens? The day or before. I don't understand it. So, and then we're the conspiracy theorists for questioning this. And, you know, shouldn't the detectives and the police officers, well, they got to know what's going on. They got to know what's going on. I mean, they've got superior to answer to as well. You know, they've got people that they have to talk to about what their entails in their job. So who do we go to for answers? If no one's going to give us the truth, if those that know the truth have signed certain agreements and certain contracts to where they can't talk, you know, non-compete agreements or whatever, how do we get the truth? Do we have to decide for ourselves and just deal with the BS? You know, first it's 10 guns, then it's 23 guns. Next thing you know, they're going to say he has a tank. And the next thing you know, they're going to say he had a tank, and somehow he got a tank in there, and they flew all of ISIS over with North Korean spies. That's going to be the next story. It's going to be North Korean spies and ISIS terrorists that are going to cause the next terrorist attack. Yep, it's going to be North Korean spies that we can't tell because they're so good. So that's going to be the next terrorist. Oh, and then it's going to be those that are conspiracy theorists. Yeah, the next event they're going to blame on a conspiracy theorist that thinks for himself. You know, it's funny. I got my hair cut today, and my gosh, the lady did an absolute terrible job, horrible job. But bless her heart, but she did. Oh my gosh, it's like my hair is like frailing in the back now. Now I just want to get it all buzzed and cut off. It's that bad. But bless her heart anyway. She's cutting my hair and she goes, What do you think about the Las Vegas shooting?" And I said, "Do you really want to know?" And she goes, "Yeah, I want to know." And I told her. And by the time maybe she did such a bad job cutting my hair because I just literally blew her mind. She doesn't know what to think anymore. She's just blown away. She's like, wow. She was literally like, I think that now a whole new world has opened up to her to where she will never be able to go back. She was literally talking to her sister about how she thinks that, she goes, "Well, you know, me and my sister were talking about maybe it was the government." I said, "No, it's not the government. The government didn't do this. It's the shadow factions behind the scenes that control the government and control the militaries, control the politicians. They're the ones that have this hidden hand in the cookie jar that seems to feed all of these politicians." And, you know, it's the MFers, guys. It's the MFers. And it's also getting to the point now where they're just like, okay, well, you know, the Orlando shooting didn't work. We weren't able to take their guns with the Orlando shooting. So let's do something different. Now let's do something in Vegas. And people aren't waking up. People are awake. They don't fall for the BS anymore. They're done with the BS. They've lied so much. They're only down to two options now, folks. To literally start a war, like big time, with North Korea. You know, start sending troops overseas, start full-on war. Civil war, which they've been pushing the button for this civil war now for years, and it still hasn't happened. Yeah, I mean, people are pissed off, but they're still going home. They're paying their bills. They're going to work, and they're doing what they're told. Welcome to the New World Order. You know, it reminds me of the Last Ship. I don't know if you guys have seen The Last Ship, but I think there's more truth to The Last Ship than Fox News. Somebody said my husband still listens to Fox News. But you know what? The Last Ship, there's this one episode where there's this genius mad scientist that creates a formula in the food that makes even the most testosterone-filled, most aggressive men just totally docile, just no aggression whatsoever. It completely takes away their aggression gene. And I feel that that's why they have certain formulas in the vaccines and the foods and the pharmaceutical drugs and the media, medical mafia, industrial complex is all kind of working together hand in hand. You help me out, I'll help you out kind of situation to keep people docile, to keep people under the thumb, to keep people from questioning the status quo. Because when people start questioning what's really going on, when they start questioning the facts news, the communist news network, you know, the mainstream brain drain media, and they unplug from that, then they're not going to know what to do except for cause a war that people won't have an opportunity. They're going to do their best to continue to manipulate the media. And even though, isn't it funny, guys, that 90% of the media, over 90% of the media is controlled by 6 corporations? 90%. And guess what? They can see their house of cards crumbling right now because they've lied to us so long that we don't believe it anymore. We can't. I mean, you could take somebody and you could just beat them in the head for so long before they finally say, "Why are you hitting me in the head? I know you tell me it's good for me, but I got bruises and concussions. It's not good for me." That's what they've been doing. Just beating our heads against the wall for years. I mean, when you've got people that are so plugged into the system talking about this recent event and how it just doesn't make sense, what do? Well, okay, they don't believe us anymore, so we played the swine flu scare. That didn't work. More people got damaged from the vaccines than from the actual swine flu, so what do? Well, you know, let's actually cause it this time. They're to the point now, folks, where they're going to have to either shut up or do something about it. They're going to have to either let us continue to win the hearts and minds of people that want to wake up and unplug from this beast system. And it's not even a good beast. I mean, there's good beasts out there. This system right now is eating itself. This beast right now is consuming itself. there's not going to be anything left anymore. There needs to be people like you, like me, like others that listen to Leak Project. Because if we weren't here, there wouldn't be any balance left. I mean, the 1% of us is going to have to make up for the 99% goons out there that are oblivious to reality. You know, I'm telling you, I wonder sometimes with the way that these events unfold and with the way that these media manipulators, these MFers, these literally magicians at the top levels, these sorcerers, are they connected to some type of anti-biological system, something that is a consciousness, an anti-biological consciousness that Ray Kurzweil talks about in the Singularity, but he doesn't think it's happened yet. I think it's already happened. If you look at the possibility of 200 years after radio being created, you've got these intelligences that are usurping up entire cosmoses, entire galaxies, turning planets into supercomputers. It's already been done. If there is, when you get to a point in time where time is irrelevant because you can access any point in time, you control everything. Those that control the past control the future. What is it that controls the past, that controls the future? Is this system that controls the politicians, the MFers, the media moguls, is it an anti-biological system? Is it something that is not a physical being, a physical deity? Because that is the only thing that makes sense to me. Or it's something that just doesn't like us. It's something that doesn't like people. It's something that doesn't like kindness and caring and love and compassion. It's something that doesn't like green grass and blue skies. It's something that doesn't like rainbows. It's something that wants to control everything. It's something that wants to control the weather, wants to control what you think, wants to control what you see. It wants to control where you go after you leave this physical existence, ladies and gentlemen. It wants to control you after you leave. So my question is, what's next? What are they going to do now? What are they going to do now? They know that we know. They know that we know that they're lying, that it's not a lone gunman. And I made a mistake yesterday. The person that was blamed for shooting 518 people and killing an additional 58, he didn't live in an assisted living facility. I apologize. He was in a 55 or older community. He had a lot of money, I was told, and I also was told he worked for Lockheed Martin. So if he worked for Lockheed Martin, that could take you down a whole other open up a whole other can of worms, take you down multiple paths as well. Did he work for Lockheed Martin? Why was his father on the America's Most Wanted for the FBI back in the 60s? Just because he's 64 doesn't mean he's not a badass. You know what they say, 64 is the new 44. I know some badass 64-year-olds. Logistically, though, I don't see how he could shoot that many rounds with what he supposedly had. First, they said he had 10 guns. Now they said he had 23. 23, the 32nd floor, 64 years old. They like to throw numerology in our faces. I wonder if the numerology they throw in our faces is also done for a marketing campaign to sell more ads. Oh, you know, let's get people even more excited about it. So we're gonna throw in these numbers, and they're gonna come up with conspiracy theorists about it. They can say whatever they want to say. They can be like, look, it was the Burger King mascot that went around and killed people. Now we gotta boycott Burger King. No, it was the dirty clown, man. It was the dirty clown. There's probably about 1,000 people that control just about everything that most people see in the world, unless they're in a cave somewhere. And even that probably has some connections as well. So, and they're just like, this is just a big game to them. It's a big play. It's whatever they're going to feed. You know, here's another thing, folks. I just got a book, 2,500 gods. 2,500 gods. The book of 20. I'm going to go over some of these gods with you here soon. It's like, which god are they worshiping? Which god are they feeding? Watch American gods, and very powerful people worship specific gods, which they feel give them specific powers, and they make it very clear it's give and take. Give a little, get a little. Give a little, get a little. Just give a little, just get a little. They make it sound all cute and happy, but that's it. Give a little, get a little. You know, Odin, the wise one in American gods, you almost got to like the guy, even though he doesn't like people, and he looks at people like they're pieces of meat. They're easy toys. They're toys. That's all they are. Dispensable, because they're not the gods. Well, it's interesting because in these films, it portrays that the gods need us just as much, if not more, than we need them. And look, you can see Nibiru behind me. It's bouncing all over the place. You're like, it's a blue Kachina. No, it's a lens flare, but it looks pretty cool. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to leave it at this. Once again, where do we go from here? What do you guys think's next? The meat industry, yeah, it's pretty toxic. It's pretty toxic. So, yeah, let's stay positive. Let's be the change. Let's be excellent to each other. Let's wake people up. Like, seriously, it was so funny, you guys. I get my hair cut. The lady asks me what I think about Las Vegas, and it was just like I triggered. I was like, and by the time I was done talking to her, she was like, what the? No wonder my hair looks like shit. I just blew her mind. She doesn't know what to do now. She's freaking out. She's probably gonna go tell everybody what she heard today, wake up her whole family, and yeah, maybe she'll hey, that's an idea. Tell your stylist what's going on. Tell your banker. Tell your stockbroker. Tell your best friend. Tell your I don't know, tell your neighbor, whatever, what you think's going on, and don't hold back. Forget holding back. You know what I mean? Why do we hold back? I mean, what's the point? What's the point? Are we scared are we scared what they're gonna think about us? Yeah, you guys are tough. You guys can take it. My goodness. If you guys can make it through Leak Project, you guys can make it through just about anything. Yeah, I mean, blue avians, time travelers, you got all flat earths and all sorts. There's so many flat earths out there. It's pretty awesome. All right. Be the change you want to see. You guys are awesome. Be excellent. Hey everybody, Rex Bear Leak Project. How the heck are you? I'm out here in a graveyard right now in the middle of nowhere, hill country, Texas. And I think this is kind of symbolic after what happened yesterday in Las Vegas. The question is, who's to blame? How many people were actually there shooting others? And if 58 people were killed and 518 injured, the amount of people in this graveyard right here, I don't think there's more than 50. Some sickos up there at the top levels that justify this for some reason. Now, 58 people that could have changed the world are no longer with us. They're not with us anymore. Who were they, you know? I mean, imagine if you were one of the family members. Imagine if you were somebody that actually lost a loved one or a friend or a brother or a sister or a daughter or a son or a mom or a dad or an aunt or an uncle. It shouldn't happen, you guys. Why are we still dealing with this insanity? I don't understand it. Shouldn't we be changing the world? Shouldn't we be helping people? Shouldn't we be coming up with inventions and opportunities to, like, I don't know, better people, to make people the best that they can be? I just don't understand it. I mean, here you go, folks. Here's another graveyard now. Just this is empty right here. All this space, this is all empty. Well, guess what? Now that's all going to be filled with dead bodies. Not this one in particular, but you guys get my point. I'm on the way. I'm heading out to northern Texas. There's 60 people in this graveyard, maybe 50, right around there. So that means that a graveyard of this magnitude is now going to be filled with people that shouldn't have died, that should still be here, still spending time with their family and loved ones. But no, because of some ridiculous event, some political BS scandal that we all know was most likely designed for some type of propaganda to benefit some type of shadow faction. And I saw this graveyard and I thought to myself, you know what? What can we do as a collective whole to make a difference? And I see, look at this. You see that? Can you guys see this, the rainbow? There's a rainbow right now. How symbolic is that? How symbolic is that? Radiation levels are at 0.10 microsieverts per hour. So pretty low out here in San Antonio. And you know, after